All right, just setting things up here and getting the stream going. Hey Darkender, how are you? And thanks for joining. So we're going to give it some time for folks to join in. Ah, dude, congratulations on getting your Absolute and Transcender. Hey, Equilibrium. I am probably not doing any Eternal Chest openings today because I haven't been farming tokens so much as I have been farming gear and leveling up my stuff. So I'm going to do a little bit of different, do something a little different today. Hey, Humble. How's it going? In the Philippines, huh? That must be pretty early. Hey, Octane. So just idle chat while I got folks coming in. Using a different streaming program, so I've got my YouTube live stuff off in my screen over here, and I can see the chat without being in YouTube, so that's pretty good. I don't know what kind of I don't know what the delay is right now, so hopefully it's kind of real time. So, by the way, I don't know what your name is. It looks like a bunch of L's and I's. Is that a luchador? I can't even see that picture. But yeah, talking about your God of War set, absolutely, it's worth it. I'll show you mine if you want. I'm kind of running some riffs idle here in the background while we wait for people to get here. Yeah, man. So I'll be happy to talk about build reviews. It'll probably be more of an open forum because I'm not the expert. I just do things my way. I'm getting spanked in PvP by some of the people with better gear and different setups than I do. So I can talk about what I've got and what I do, and you know. Okay, so barcode. Cool. I think you may have mentioned that before. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel farm, and since you asked, we can talk about equipment for a minute here as we wait for the channel to fill in. So right now my character's farming Rift 29 pretty slowly. My attack is decent, but I don't have my substats optimized. I've at only 35% crit rate because of the debuffs, and my penetration's not very high. My skill cooldown's pretty good though. But really just trying to get up, grind these red chests here and some gold. So I'm wearing all my farming equipment. This is the first week I've been able to wear an Odin's set and an Emperor set. So my gold drop and my chest drop is pretty good. It's not the best in the game, but it's a lot better than it was last week. Hey, what's up, JBR Killer and Mike? So, am I doing the rifts? Man, I had 1,500 rift marks yesterday morning, and I've chewed through, I mean, probably 1,000 of them. You know, I've accrued some more over the past day with my airships and stuff, but basically what I'm doing here is I'm just farming red chests and any eternal drops that I'll get, and gems too. I'm actually using the gems finally, and you know, I'm not farming them very quickly, but I'm trying to maximize. I'm squeezing every little ounce I can out of these rift marks, because with this patch coming up and the potential to need to spend 500 of them at a time, you know, I'm just going to sit on them. I might crank down the difficulty and go through quicker, but you know, it's not a big deal. So my strategy this week is just to farm a bunch of red stuff, and where I left off from last week was I had I had some new gear. I had one mythics item, was my axe here. So over the weekend, I've taken my God of War shield, my Eclipse shield, and my Frozen Gaze and made them mythic. And I started with this Winter Shard with 0 stars, and I'm working it up to making it mythic as well. So I really need those to help me with PvP and PvE. So I'm just feeding it. It's slow going, but it's much more optimal than converting these things to tokens and doing pulls. I figured right now I need to focus on getting some of these up to mythic before I need to worry about, re-rolling a bunch of stuff. So let me glance at chat here. Yeah, I've got a level 5 or level 6 assault ship. So in the past week, I've gotten my I've got a level 13 chaplain. I'm not putting much into the wyvern. I got my pirate ship up to 20 finally, and a level 6 assault ship. I'm not really wanting to invest too many QP into this, because actually I did something. You guys can tell me I'm stupid for doing this, but I actually bought the holy and the infernal slots here for like 5,000 points. I wanted to re-roll some stuff here, so I've got some alternate gold drop. I may try to re-roll this advanced chest to closer to 50. And then I was working on this. I had the 2% life leech and some cooldown, and I wanted to get this companion buff to see how it helped me out in PvP, and I think it's helping. It's hard to say, but basically I'm trying to use this companion boost here to just murderize my opponent before they can kill me. So the jury's out on whether that's doing any good, but I've got that. So as I do these rifts, I just run with the chest drop rate and my cooldown. It's a little over the cap, but it's a little quicker than anything else. So yeah, I'm saving for the rifts events for whenever this patch is, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I made a little presentation of the not really the patch notes, but some, I guess, spoilers that the developer put on Facebook. They showed us a couple screenshots, and then some of our players in the community have pulled some patch notes from the Korean version and done us the good kindness of translating them. So we'll go through those, and we can talk about some speculations on that and what it might mean. So that said, what I really wanted to do is just continue farming my rifts in the background and get this ring to mythic, because it's going to give me a pretty decent damage boost in PvP and help me with my tier dungeons. I think my next major leap will be to get a +2 either on a Yak necklace or a ring, so I can free up the Transcender slot and get another set of earrings to help me. I need some sort of elemental buffs, I think, especially with the tier dungeons. So yeah. So anyways, spoilers. I don't know that there are spoilers. We're getting a little bit of things from the developers, and communication's not that open. So why don't I go ahead and pull that up real quick. Just gotta find my tab. So I made this nice little PowerPoint deck, and we'll talk about what we think is going to come up in this patch and when we're going to get it, because that's something that we were all sitting there saying, hey, we have maintenance tomorrow. Well, we'll talk about that. So this may be a 2.0 release, and the date is slated for mid to late February, which is what was communicated to us a while back, probably a week ago. We all wanted it to pop up during Valentine's Day, which was a couple days ago. 2 days ago. Didn't get it. Some of us got some free Eternal tokens. Some of us didn't. So I'm sorry to those of you who didn't get them. I don't know why. I don't know how long the event lasted, but I got mine and made a little video on that. So here's the post from Raid the Dungeon Facebook talking about maintenance tomorrow, or it's really within less than 24 hours. So what I did notice is they said that they're doing server maintenance, and they have 2 sets of maintenance for 1 hour each. That may be, I didn't do the time conversion, so that may just be 1 hour total, and that may be the same time, GMT -5 and +8. So it may just be 1 hour for the servers being down to do some updates. My guess is that they're going to do some security patches, update the OSs and things like that, and maybe beef things up, hopefully to address the PvP disconnects and grow capacity for the players. My speculation is that this update tomorrow is not going to be the version update because the maintenance window is only an hour. So generally a major update's going to take longer than that for them to bring it up and do tests and make sure that things are solid. So to everybody who is hopeful that we're getting the fancy new patch tomorrow, I'm not going to hold my breath. So I'll hope for it, but I'm not going to expect the patch tomorrow. So I see there's some questions in chat. We can go over those in a bit, but I'm going to continue talking about this patch. So as I mentioned earlier, we've had members of the community who have taken some screenshots and translated to the best of their ability what we think is going to be in this patch. So what we know so far is that there will be a new mode. We believe it's called Abyss mode. So it's a new type of rift, kind of like the tier dungeon, where with each progressive stage, the difficulty will rise. You will probably get more and more debuffs applied to you, and there will be some new form of equipment that we'll call abyssal equipment for now. I don't know if it's going to be farmed like the tier dungeon where you need to get tokens and you build them up over time and then purchase them, or if these are going to be random drops. So given the insane quantity of rift marks you need to create these tokens and then run these, and the unknown difficulty, it may take some time for us to figure out what all is in store, how hard it's going to be, but my guess is it's going to be tough. So here is the translation for the item sets, and I think we believe these will be actual equipment. What's not certain is whether, if they are equipment, will they be mythic or will they be eternal, but they do have some pretty cool set effects. So there's a helmet and an armor, and then there's a weapon and offhand for each class: melee, ranged, and magic. So the general set, the Abyssal Contract set, is a 2-piece, and so far we think that the buffs are going to prevent you from healing over 50%, and also give you a 40% reduction in damage. So that's going to be really helpful in probably PvP. I don't know about tier dungeon and everything else. Right now I'm damage limited, so I don't know if it's going to help much with PvE. But the melee set looks like if you heal over your max HP, which you would probably be doing all the time with Life Leech, you can build up a shield. So that's going to be helpful. And assuming these translations are correct, there's an Abyssal Parasite set that looks like ranged. And it says every 2 seconds you'll shoot a thorn at the enemy when you're below 50% health. And yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly that translation. So you're going to have some like passive damage with the ranged set. And for the magic set, there's a 20% reflection of damage, which is going to be kind of nasty, especially in PvP, since mages can wipe you out real quick, so you're going to burn yourself down too. Looks like the lower your health gets, the more that damage is reflected back too. So yeah, so Barcode, assuming that's your screen name, I'm gonna call you Barcode. Was it Lalancer? So apologies if I got the names wrong, but yeah, we've seen these translations there in the Discord, and we've got a little channel dedicated to those. So I figured it'd be helpful to put this in a little presentation and make it easy to consume. considering some folks on the YouTubes are not going to be in Discord. So yeah, Humble says that this looks like PvP stuff, so I agree. So we'll see. I don't know if this is going to help with tier dungeons at all, but maybe the Abyssal Parasite set might, with the extra, pew-pews with thorns or whatever, might help take down a boss. I don't know. So that's what we've got in the deck for the patch. Whether we're going to get anything else, I don't know. I'd love to be surprised with something like Guild Wars, or who knows. I did see some interesting screenshots quite a while ago when I first started playing of some sort of like conversion shop, this dude in the hood, and you could pay a bunch of gold to make little ingots or something. I don't know. So I'm not sure if that was actually Raid the Dungeon, some other game, or some content that we'll get in a future patch, but I'm kind of interested what's in store. So yeah, that's what's in the patch. So you guys want to do some Q&A, and hey there, Logan. Good to see you. So there were some questions about gear earlier. In the past week, I went from having one set to having like 4 sets, 4 or 5. I've got my PvP set, my speed farming set, my gold farming set, and my progression set. So, which is sort of a variant of my PvP, but with the crystal boots to give me extra boss damage and stuff. So Humble says Guild Wars will be more. Well, basically it'll be awesome when they update it. I agree. Let's see what these messages say. Yeah, so I don't know that they're going to make any of these drops pop in the regular rifts, JBR Killer, but we'll probably have to run the advanced rifts, the abyssal rifts, to get those items. I don't know if we can expect any additional, loot drops, though. It'd be nice to just get some additional variety. If we look at the collections, there's plenty of room for more. I don't know if this is just a placeholder, like they just created an array of things, or if this indicates there's actually more. So let's see, are any of these pages longer than the others? I don't think so. So maybe that's just what they've got. So question from Jacob. He says, what's the most efficient way to get rift tokens? So what I do to get rift tokens is equip, let me show you my speed farming set. Now, I don't have the sleigh mount from the winter event like some folks did. Hopefully we'll get a neat mount that'll be just as fast in one of these events soon, but there's this infernal set called the Skull's Protector, and the 3-set bonus gives you an additional 0.3 move speed for each air companion that you have. So basically you want to equip this ring and make sure that your attack and crit are at adequate level that you can one-shot the enemies on whatever map that you want to run. So grab your 6 air components, grab a set of boots with some movement speed. So pretty accessible are the Phoenix shoes. Another option from the previous event were the Sleipnir boots that give a plus 0.2 instead of 0.3. I generally just take the Phoenix boots just to max it out as quickly as possible, because I really don't care about an extra 20% gold drop. But anyway, what you want to do is grab this set, grab the 6 companions, and then skill-wise, I take, I guess the first skill doesn't really matter so much, but as a melee, I grab Stormwind Blade, Celestial Warhorse, usually Soulcast, and Thundercut, because it's a very fast cooldown, and it's an AoE, and generally, speed farming, I take Arcane Cycle, because while it has a slow or a low uptime, it will increase your movement speed as well. So I just run through the rifts I run through the adventure levels as fast as possible. So the goal is to just wipe everything out, and there's basically every 3 adventure chapters, it seems, is a chapter where there's it's quicker than the others. So basically just pick your quickest chapter that's closest to your max chapter, equip these items if you've got them, and go AFK. And if you're in a guild, of course, try to get the movement speed buff. But basically you combine that with these relics, the Gold Goblin and the Elf King's Flute, and that's going to give you roughly like an 8%-ish chance, just based on the statistics I've gathered, chance to come across that goblin that will drop the quartz. So the quicker you run through the levels, the more times you'll see him, the more quartz you'll get. There is some kind of like an RNG in there. I've had days where nothing's changed and I've had much lower drops than others, so at any rate, probably getting 2,000-3,000 quartz a day, at least 2,000 a day if I farm the most of it. So I said quartz, but kind of deviating there. But rift marks is the same thing. You're going to get that quartz from the Gold Goblin, and you're going to get the rift marks dropping too. So same thing applies. So let's see here. Yep, so you're going to get that absolute set in the Transcender, so you just need to wear the ring, unless you lucked out and have a Yak necklace or something that gives you the +2, but essentially you've got to get this. You could also do the extraction to get this, but it doesn't stack, and in my case I generally double up on cooldown, so you want your skills to pop as quickly as possible, so you keep going through there. Let's see, questions here. Going through the list. So the speed set, I'm going to call it the speed set. It's the Angel Band. I'll call it the Angel set, but the gear is called Skulls, whatever, Protector. And it's these here. It's the boots with the wings. I mean, you can't miss it. It's the earrings, and looks like a bird. So you just want to grab any flying mount that you have. Not mount. I did miss the mount portion though. You want to equip your Royal Griffin, assuming you have it, because you're going to use Stratosphere Flight. So it's a good cooldown. It's like 6 seconds and some change. So it's constantly active. And you're just going to go into your companions, and you're going to grab anything that has this symbol here. It looks like a cloud, so that's your flying companions. Just fill all 6 slots with a flying companion, and you'll get the major speed buffs. So that's really it. I don't know about range or AoE skills, what they have. Every decent ranged weapon I get, I feed it, because I'm all melee right now. So maybe when I'm bored and have everything, and I'm in like top 10 on PvP or something and maxing out my rifts, I might try to get a ranged weapon or a staff and see what I can learn about the different styles. But for now, it's just not worth kind of messing up my progress. So Barcode asked if you have multiple slots in your extraction, do they stack? And the answer to that is no. So, just to give you this example, well, I'll give you an example here. I had the 2% life leech. This, for one, is not repeatable. So, the little lesson here is if it says not repeatable, you can only have one of these total. Doesn't matter if you have this equipped as a set bonus on your gear already, it's not going to stack. So you can only have one bonus like this. So if you had, for example, pop over here. If I had advanced chests here, and I had another slot that had advanced chests, these aren't going to stack either. Basically, you can see the little yellow dots right at the top. This indicates which extraction for each tier is active. You can only have one active at a time per tier. So if you'll notice, like when you click out of here, your screen kind of like pauses real quick while it's saving that in and saying, hey, you're using these extractions. But you can go in and change these. And as I mentioned before, I bought one extra slot in these, mostly because I just wanted to re-roll I want to re-roll this advanced chest to something closer to 50, but I don't want to lose it. So I've been getting gold here, and it's a bit expensive if you're free to play, you know, but you know, I'm pretty dedicated, so I want to try to min-max some of these a little better. So yeah, I mean, Humble had the TLDR. No, they don't stack, but that's the full lesson on it. So, all right, we had some folks asking about gear setup earlier. While we're talking about gear and extractions, I'm going to set mine up for PvP real quick. I'm probably already maxed out on crit. I'm kind of looking on something on the yellow here, like what can I get that'll help me in PvP? Since my crit is maxed, I'm thinking like maybe I'll do the poison set just for the extra added chance I might one-shot kill somebody, but not gonna hold my breath. Hey, like anything is, you know, better than nothing if I'm already over my cap. So anyway, what I need to do is I'm gonna try this whole companion boost thing. I don't know what it's called, but the void power for your companions. I really wish it would actually do what it says, and says that your stats increase as the companions fall, which would mean that they die. But as the good folks in Discord have pointed out, this only seems to work if you have no companions equipped, period, which really sucks because your companions can give you some pretty nice, you know, backup, and they can give you some good, you know, stat bonuses. So, you know, like I said before, any bonus is better than no bonus. So, my strategy here is trying to not really glass cannon, but take the other guy down before they take me down. So just to give you a glimpse of what I've got the frozen gaze to help with my crit damage and crit cap. I don't have any skills that are freezing, although I do see enemies freeze from time to time. And I've got the God of War 3 set, because I've got my +2 bonus from my Transcender and Absolute. I've got my Uranus bonus, which is pretty nice when it procs because it reduces those cooldowns on skills. And I'm running Fafnir's Pledge, which is, you know, giving me some sustain and not getting one-shotted, which unfortunately my defense and things are pretty lacking when I go against people like Evil Zeus and Moon. So, was it Mooncry? I'm really bad with names. I apologize, but yeah, like the top 10, top 15 people, they murder me, but I'm doing okay. So anyways, that's my set. I've got the Winter Shard with the Necromancer power and the Leviathan shield, so this kind of helps, but the Necromancy doesn't help me now that I don't have any companions with me. So, and I've got my other Winter Shard with a nice little health boost and Dragon's Call, which is more of a farming thing, but it's what I've got. And then this is my boy right here, the Raztori Prey. So this is what's really helping me with shocking people and doing damage. So I'm gonna give it a go. Skill wise, I'm just using anything that has lightning, and which is all these skills, and rather than use the lightning chop, which has a higher damage and a chance to shock per the spreadsheet one of our mates did in Discord, I use the Stormwind Blade, which can also potentially stun them. So I don't care so much about the damage on this hit as I do the debuffs and triggering the Raztori Prey, whatever, you know, lightning belt. So, and I'm running the Poison Aura because I want to lower their defense and raise my attack. So I was doing the Arcane Cycle and hoping I could just blast them down, but the cooldown and everything just wasn't doing it for me, so I just want Poison Aura to be up all the time. So I'll kick this off, and I'll just use up my 6 tickets, and we'll see what we can do here. So I'm going to glance back to chat. Looks like you guys are kind of quiet, so now's the time for the questions and answers. So this one had 4184 points, so they stomped me. They've been doing it and climbing the ladder. So, And that's basically my strategy here. Is without my companions, I'm going to get smoked. But I've got the Undying, which saves me. So basically, rock, paper, scissors. As long as I face a mage and they don't have Undying, or they're like God tier, I can just, burn them down pretty quickly. So it's working for me for the most part, and I'll probably climb back up to about where I was, which was, where was I? Grandmaster 2, I think, at the last update a few hours ago. And maybe I'll get to Grandmaster 1, probably not Challenger. I'm going to need to get more Eternal equipment, and maybe even like redo my whole set. I just don't have it. So far so good. I'm doing all right, but I'm not facing anybody who's really high, really much higher than me. So it's pretty embarrassing when you get beat by people, lower than you. But so far I've been doing okay. So that was that, and that puts me back to Grandmaster 3. Where am I at? Grandmaster 3, top 18. And I guess there's nobody in Challenger yet, because I don't know what the deal is. So I'm in 18th place for everyone right now, but people are probably not even, they're asleep and going to work on Monday morning or whatever. So I'll probably come back and be in like 20 or high 20s. So Humble says there's a set option for Holy Extraction or the green accessories that can be a good partner with Undying. Yggdrasil, which I'm saving up on. So good point. That might help. But what I've noticed is that when I lose, more often than not, when I really lose, it's just like I get smoked so hard it didn't matter. Like if I go up against Evil Zeus, like he's spent some pretty good money on this game, and I have not spent nearly as much. So there's certain barriers that you can't. I'd have to play a lot longer, and he'd have to go on vacation for me to beat his character to catch up. But he's probably going to be like top 5, top 10, or something like that, right? So. When I'm like more head to head, I don't know if I really want Yggdrasil or not. So, that said, I am saving for it just so I can get it. So I'm going to collect my quartz and head on back to the map. So I guess tier dungeons reset. I think I've already run my tier dungeons. I can go look at that real quick, but I haven't really made any major progress because they're elemental based. So what I did find was, let's pull this tier dungeon. So yeah, I've already gone in tier dungeon, and this guy's fire. So they're resistant to shock, which unfortunately I used the Rastori's Prey Belt, which helps with the shock, damaging them and stunning them. And stage 7 I can beat no problem. Stage 8 I think they start recovering health, and I need like a burn setup to really prevent the health recovery. I think that was last week's boss, but this week's boss is taking more damage from fire too, and they take more while they're poisoned, so that's not a problem. But at any rate, it's probably not in the cards for me to beat stage 8 right now. Alright, so I'm going to put on my farming gear and get back to work. Well, you know what? I could do a couple tier dungeons. Why don't I just do that? That'll be fun. I'll do a couple tier dungeons just so you can see what I'm working with here. And I'm going to cross my fingers. Or am I? So I'm like 300 short of being able to evolve this. And I could spend some quartz. It's not going to make any sense to do that. So I'm just going to go back to the rifts. I lied. I'm going to go to the rifts, collect some gold with this set, and try to level this up because I need to evolve it, and that's going to cost me 5,000. So unfortunately all my collections are pretty much they're not full, but I'm not getting any new ones as rapidly as I used to, so really just gotta do it this way. So let me set these extractions up real quick to get my chest drop maxed out. I'm getting eternal drops probably once in every 30 to 40 rift completions at 29 right now, I think, and that's with like 220-ish chest drop. So let's get back in there. Just gotta double check my companions and everything is set back up. So, and I'm just gonna drop in here. I usually run like 22 at a time, and I can do that. And if somebody has questions, I can pop back out. Like now, I got a question. So, looks like Humble's got some questions about glory points. So Humble asked, do I spend them on Marks of the Rift or on skins? Like, dude, I'm not spending on skins if I can buy a bunch of Rift marks. So about every week I have, after I farm, I have around 20 to 25,000 of the glory coins. I haven't gotten to the next VIP level yet either, so I'm getting 2 for every level that I complete in the adventure mode. So these are just from PvPing over the weekend. I spend them all and just go drop them all on the rift marks. So that's what let me get around 1,600. I think it was 1,600 marks of the rift between Monday and Saturday morning. And then of course whatever I get over the weekend on PvP. So I guess I'd be, I'm kind of jealous of some of the skins you guys have in Discord that look pretty awesome. I just got this random, I say it's random, it's just what I've got. It's like, well, I can make a pirate, dude, and this spearfish or whatever, it was from the New Year's event, so I paid 1,000 New Year's tickets to get this, and it's like, whatever. So maybe I can get some appropriate wings with this guy later and complete the outfit. But for now, if anybody knows how to hide these, tell me. And because it's like either that or I got these. So I guess this looks more piratey, but I don't know how to hide these. So anyway. So Barcode asked, do ships not give enough quartz? Is it a passive income? Well, the ships, the only one that gives shifts are the assault ship, and it's something on the order of like 300 and some change a day, 200 or 300 and some change a day if you have level 5 or 6, which is like a drop in the bucket. I mean, even the monthly pass is giving me 450 a day. That's like the drop in the bucket compared to farming where I get like 2,000 or 3,000 a day. On average, if I farm like most of the day with, you know, the speed farming set and all that junk. So yeah. Alright, so now I'll pop back over to the Rift and just dump some of these. I've been running about 20 to 22 at a time just so my inventory doesn't fill up because I am collecting red chests and feeding them to my items. So, any other questions in here? I know we've kind of covered a lot of what the game has to offer. I mean, we've talked about things like how does penetration work, and there's been some speculation, but forget who it was in the geek stuff. Let me look at the geek stuff real quick. So some of our folks have been doing spreadsheets on skills and how effective they are. So looks like Moon's Cry has been working with Mushy Mango. I'm just kind of scrolling up through the chat. There's a few people working together to build these spreadsheets and talk about how your stats affect your damage and stuff. But it seems pretty straightforward, you know, like defense mitigates some damage. I don't know if it's linear or if it's just a percent, but penetration seems to just bypass defense altogether. So if you can max out your penetration, it doesn't matter what their defense is. So that's probably a decent strategy for PvP at some point. But I'm hearing that if you have negative penetration, it actually gives a defensive boost to the enemies in tier dungeons, perhaps. I don't know if that's confirmed, but it's a logical assumption. So Barcode says you get 450 quartz a day with monthly, and you're getting 400 a day. I don't know why. It's probably a VIP thing. Like, I'm VIP 5. I don't know. That could be it. VIP getting the 6 is really expensive. Like, I've dumped more money in the game on random, like, QP things and gotten almost, like, no cool stuff out of it. And I'm barely inching my way up. So I'm finally back to, like, almost 100,000 VIP points. So I'm, like, 1/3 of the way to the to that cool mount with the ice. I forget the name again. But yeah, it's going to take me a long time to get to 7. So assuming, you know, I keep playing and, you know, keep putting some cash in here to get cool stuff. But actually, you know, I'm still interested in getting the extraction slots, and it'd be neat if they released some new gear. You know, like even some legendary stuff that gives you some sort of set bonus that would synergize with things, just so it's not like, oh, another 5% crit. Like, who cares at this point? Let's see here. Hey, John Sharp, how you doing? Well, I didn't even update my skills here, but I got my farming, my speed farming skills equipped, and it looks like it's doing just fine. I'm a little slower than normal, so I'm going to cancel that farm and equip my other skills, but I'd probably be doing a little bit better with my poison and other abilities equipped. Well, I thought I said, yeah, okay. Canceled farming. So let's go back to the village and set those skills up. I mean, if you guys want, I would just change gear to my speed farming set, but then I gotta click through all the companions and stuff. So if the developers are listening and they care to do it, what would be really awesome is if you could save mounts to a slot too. Either like click a button to, like, you know, synchronize your mount with this equipment that you have on, so when you click through it, you can go to your PvP set, or you can go to your, like, I need my Griffin, the Griffin airship with the cannons, you know, for rifts and stuff, and I need my Griffin, my Royal Griffin, for speed farming. Looks like my blue stacks bit the bullet and froze up there. It happens from time to time, especially when I'm streaming and using up my CPUs and RAM. So let me restart this real quick. So Barcode asks, is Dark Star Jed companion good? I think so. I use him in my PvP lineup only because I don't have, you know, additional Eternals or rares to use. But he does give you a chance to an improved block chance, which is great if you're a melee type for that damage mitigation. But again, it's kind of hard. Like, you'd need some sort of repeatable test in order to, you know, calculate whether it's really worth it. So Humble says, like the item slot for the mount. Yeah, like, so when I click these arrows, and, like, I know that the third slot, this should be my speed farming set, right? So when I do this, if I had, like, a little button here to, like, link to a mount, I would want my speed farming set, excuse me, and my companions too. It'd be pretty nice. I mean, I wouldn't want to go through and, like, redo everything every single time, but it would be nice to say, like, yeah, I want to use these companions and save them to this set, and that way I could just, like, click a button, pop into PvP, or, you know, sync my mount, my extractions, my companions to a gear set, and then I could just kind of pop through, and I mean, that saves some time. It's quality of life. It's not the end of the world, but like me, I've got family, and I pop down and kind of, like, run through stuff. So if I want to pop in PvP, and, you know, it'd be nice to have some shortcuts and just not need to click through. So luckily I'm really only doing that once a week. During the weeks I just run my speed farm set the whole week, and on the weekend I do the rifts non-stop. So pretty easy, but anyway. Yeah, I agree. It would be helpful, Humble. So I'm getting there. I've got like 80% of the way. Just got to farm more rifts on this thing. Here's my relics. Working up. This has slowed down quite a bit, so I really want to save my quartz and max out my chaplain, I think is what it was, a squire. I don't know if the name of the ship changed when you upgraded it past a certain level, or if they just changed the name of the ship altogether. So some of my previous information may be inaccurate, but at any rate, when that's maxed out, you're getting around 200,000 of these refined stones a day, which even at this level would give me over 20 levels per day in these, which isn't too bad. So John Sharp says, I got the Power of God earrings, but I can't use it till I get the necklace. Yeah, so the Transcender and the Transcender earrings and the Absolute necklace. So these are really rare. Just to give you an idea, if you look at the collections, I mean, I guess all the Eternals are fairly rare, but you look at the Uranus set, I've gotten some of these as many as 6, and some of these only 2, which is kind of surprising. It feels like I've gotten these a lot more. So, you know, hey, I'll get a lot more quartz once these start dropping from higher levels for me. But anyway, Transcender, I've only gotten this once, and I've gotten this twice. So these are the least common items that I've come across, other than the Yag necklace, which, never mind, I guess I've gotten 3 of those. So, still pretty rare. But anyway, gonna cross my fingers that I get a +2 on the Yag necklace one of these days, but I'm not doing token pulls, so I'm not gonna see one of those for a little bit. So Barcode asks, what's the chaplain? It's just the name of the ship that was the Squire, or is the Squire. Like I said, I don't know. When I started the game, this looked like a little whale. It looked like a little whale with like fins on the back, and it was called the Squire. And now it's called the Chaplain. So I don't know if it was because I leveled it up and it changed appearance and it changed names, or if the developers renamed the ship. But if you look at the guild airships, there is the Cavalier, which looks a lot like the Chaplain, sort of like the Bahamut too. I mean, they're all kind of similar technologically, like with the style, except for the pirate ship, the Apophysis head and tail. So, I mean, I think it's pretty cool that the ships do change appearance as you level them up over time. So that's pretty neat. And, hopefully my guild gets one of these new airships soon, but the grind is slow, so we'll be there eventually. Alright, any other questions? So Barcode says his is still called the Squire, so I guess so. I don't know if it's level 5 or 6 or 10 or whatever, but eventually it changes appearance and names. Somebody was asking earlier about the Yggdrasil set, so I'm working on that here. So I do think the pronunciation is Yggdrasil, by the way. I thought it was Yggdrasil because it's got a Y. That's how I would pronounce it, but I've been playing, or I played a while back, Dragon Quests 11, 10, whatever the newer one was. Yggdrasil was a major plot point in that game, so that's how they pronounced it. That's how I'll do it. So, Barcode wants to watch some Mario RPG, and I would be plenty happy to do that. So let me set up my farm here, and I may pop back over from Mario a few times just to monitor this thing. But I really love Mario RPG, so we'll talk about that once I get this going. Just gotta double check, make sure I've got the right stuff equipped, and kick this off. The 22 sounds good, and this takes me like half an hour. I don't know, something like that. I haven't timed it. So, not going to use up all those rift shards. I probably should, but maybe near the end of the night I will just drop down a few levels and speed run through just to clear up some of those tokens, but it's not going to hurt. There'll be another weekend with another double gold drop, so whatever, man. Alright, so I got the game going here. I'm going to have to take a pause and reconfigure for the Mario RPG. So just bear with me for a second here. Don't even have any shortcuts for this thing set up. I've got it on a hard drive that has been installed in this computer for 10 years. This computer's evolved over 10 years, had pieces replaced. Kind of like the human body, kind of recycles itself over time, but still here. I just got to find it, and here we go. Alright, sweet. So, let's get this thing kicked off. So I do own this game, but I can't stream it from a Nintendo. Man, I've got a lot of stuff. I've got like Chrono Trigger I own, maybe 1 or 2 copies. I'm like a long-term, like a lifelong RPG guy. So, Mario RPG. So this one came out in 1996. When I was in 6th grade. Alright. Just need to grab a controller here. You might need to plug a controller in too. Alright. Alright, one second. Gotta restart this thing. Alright, so yeah, man, this one came out a long time ago. And I loved it, man. I really wish they would do a new one. So, there we go, getting the full screen. So Mario Brothers 2. So that was the Nintendo one, right? With Peach and the turnips, where you pull them out of the ground and chuck them around, right? Alright, so Mario. I think we'll just go with the old Mario. Yeah, so I think my first Mario game was Mario Brothers 3. Well, I got Mario Brothers 3 and Mario Brothers 1 at the same time on Christmas when I was probably around 5 years old. So that was a while back, man. So I remember, this is crazy, the kind of stuff that you can remember. I remember pulling back the wrapping paper and I opened Mario 3. And I was a young dude. I was 5 years old, or 5 or 6. But even then I was like, if I got a game, I got a thing to play the game on, right? So that was pretty cool. Mario 3, and Mario, the old school Mario with the duck hunt and that damn dog that everybody hates. And my dad got me into RPGs before I could even read. So unlike these days, they want your kids to read by the time they're like 4 years old. Like I didn't read. I didn't even start reading. Like they didn't start teaching us to read till 1st grade. And so we're playing like role-playing games on Nintendo. Dragon Warrior 3, I think, was the one that I started with. Dragon Warrior 4, played that one, loved it. So this one's my thing now. I just adjust this camera. There we go. So this game's just plain awesome though. I probably didn't play it when it first came out, but within a year or two, I mean, I feel like I was older than 6th grade, but maybe I wasn't. I don't know, man. Hey, Mike. Slash, is it, I don't know if it's Lancer Strike? But anyway, I'll just call you Mike. But thanks, by the way, thanks for helping to translate that stuff. So one of the things I liked about this game, aside from it being Mario and being an RPG, was like the graphics on this were pretty groundbreaking back then. And if I remember reading one of the Wikipedia articles or watching a YouTube video on this, they said that the developer actually installed an additional like computer chip inside of each cartridge to help render some of the stuff. So that was pretty cool. And I love any kind of a game like, so I grew up with the turn-based RPGs, and you know that's cool, but you know the active approach to this one where you can time the button presses, you know, that, I don't know, that makes it 100 times better. Yeah, so Mike enjoys the ASMR, all the finger tapping and stuff. So I actually went through a great deal of struggle trying to remove background noise from my mic because my voice is kind of horrible. So hopefully you won't hear any scratches and stuff here. So man, back to the RPG here, man. I love Bowser and Bowser and Booster, man. I loved like Bowser's such a serious bad guy in the Mario series until you come here and he's a big crybaby. Like he's a tough dude, but he's a crybaby too. He's a softie. So I got jump skill. Oh wait, you know what am I doing? It's been so long since I played. I'm supposed to hit the Kink Link, man. So I got to jump on this fella here. That's pretty cool. You know, like you wouldn't have thought that. Oh, so Mike says he's going. See you later, dude. Have a good one. So we got Peach here dangling from a rope. Bowser's taking her hostage like he always does, and Mario comes and saves the day. And got a little comedy here. So Mario Maker, man, I've heard that and it's crazy. I've been out of the loop on a lot of video games, especially Mario, but I've seen some insane levels there, man. I probably wouldn't last 2 seconds. So we got our cliche anime where time is like so slow, we're gonna have a conversation while we're falling down. Dude, I would pay probably like $1,000 for a modern version of this with like a new fresh story. You know, if it was as good. This game, like, even if they just redid the graphics and made it look like Link's Awakening, I mean, kept everything exactly the same, it'd be, I mean, I'd toss $100 at it. It's like between this game and Chrono Trigger, like that time frame, like for me, that's like kind of like my golden age of RPGs. And then, you know, a few years later, you have things like Final Fantasy VII, and you know, those are great games too. But I think on Super Nintendo, it's this game, Mario RPG, and Chrono Trigger are probably my two favorite. Just so much character with this game, and having the, you know, 3D look to it was pretty amazing at the time. So Barcode says, I'm not getting a speed ring on Raid the Dungeon. Like, you're not getting an angel ring, like you don't have one, or you're not going to get one. I might have to update my settings, man. I think I've got a pretty good delay going on. Let me just check this real quick. Yeah, I can't do it. Yeah, so if there is a pretty good delay, so yeah, I'm just now getting your update on that comment. So we might be about a minute apart between the time I see your chat and the time, you know, we respond. So at any rate, saying that those rings are hard to drop. Yeah, man, they're not very common. But once you're running through rifts like non-stop, you'll see them. It's not a big deal. Just go to the collection and lock them out. Definitely lock the ring, maybe the boots. Depends on if you have the Transcender and Absolute. And, you know, you'll need more than one piece. If you've got a Void Ring, you'll need 2 of the 3. But do what you gotta do, man. But that speed is going to help you quite a lot. And so that speed is going to help. And I think it got me from around 50-something to 40-something seconds, which isn't I mean, it's not like, oh my god, I'm a drag racer or whatever, but that's about a 20% reduction in time. So that's, you know, 20% more rift marks farmed over whatever time period or whatever. So I guess if they were going to make a sequel to this game, we could go and learn about wherever Smithy comes from. Like, as a kid, I didn't think too much about the plot. It was an adventure. You're sort of like, hey, this big, awesome-looking sword thing shows up and pierces Bowser's castle. Let's go help Bowser, you know, take his castle back or whatever, but fix, you know, spoilers, the Star Road and all that stuff, but it's like, where'd this guy come from? You know, why is he even here in the first place? So that'd be a good good sequel. So far, regarding the rift marks, you know, I haven't noticed any major change in the percent drop. So one thing I might do, just for fun, since I'm probably gonna I'm not gonna burn through the rest of mine tonight. I guess until this new patch comes out, I could spend a lot more effort like trying to max out everything, but it's kind of like a diminishing return on investment. So what I'll do is I'll probably take it back a few chapters, and some chapter that has, is it 30 or 35? I think it's 30. I don't know, like monster groups or whatever. So I think with each, basically the gold goblin and the rift marks and the quartz and all that I think they come from the gold goblin or whatever. And your chance of encountering them is every time you go to a new group of monsters, right? So you need to have the maximum number of monster groups, and you need to get through them as quickly as possible. So certain stages, they're grouped farther and closer and have boss monsters that take a couple seconds to despawn. But anyway, the point is that I want to go back and see if I can get down to some levels that I can complete in something like 30 seconds. And if I can, run those probably for 10-12 hours and just see if there's any difference in rift mark drop percent based on the other 15,000 completed runs I've done in chapters 51 and 54. I think it's 54. So now if it doesn't, then I'll farm there, because honestly, like the experience and the gold difference, I honestly don't care. So if I got more rift marks and I could lower the difficulty on my rift on the weekend, but still speed farm the rifts on the weekend with additional marks, I could probably make up the difference in gold and stuff, no problem. I'd have to min-max that out with a spreadsheet or something, but just an idea. So does anybody, I assume some of you have played this game before. Who's played this game? So Barcode says he hasn't played this Mario. Well, this game's awesome because it's like not boring at all. Like, it's a turn-based Mario game. It's an RPG, but it's fun because you have timed hits. You get all these little things that pop up and give you like boosts during battle and free items. And the fun thing is, right now you see Mario's punching. All right, that's, what's he supposed to do? Like jump on everything? So he can jump on stuff as a special skill, but one of the cool things is like all of your characters get different weapons through the game, and those weapon models change too. So like in typical Mario fashion, he'll get a hammer, he'll get a turtle shell. He'll kick the turtle shell up and kick it at the monsters. So pretty cool stuff like that, and it's like the most perfect blend between an RPG and a Mario game. So just great. Is it better than Final Fantasy? Better? It's probably not as epic as Final Fantasy. It's not as long as Final Fantasy games are. In terms of like the joy that I get when I play it, probably more. Like it's more simple, a little colorful, kind of like Raid the Dungeon. It's not that complicated, but it's fun and simple. Feels good while you play it. And like we talked about earlier, just like the characters in this game. Oh shit, I'm gonna die if I don't Mario here. So I got let's see, I got some items. So if you time your hit there, you can, like I got a freebie for that item. So like you can just use your items and, they don't even get used up. Now, it's not like a perfect thing, but so basically there's an element of skill, like a Mario. You got to time your jumps with an actual like statistics and character leveling up and things like that. So that's really fun. The inventory system is pretty simple. You got like only a certain number of items. I don't have anything right now, but you can equip items, so you get weapons, armors, accessories. You get special powers, so Mario ends up being able to do like super jumps and shoot fireballs at the enemies. Princess Peach is in this game. There's some new characters. A lot of fun. There is a Final Fantasy character in this game as kind of like a cameo slash, I don't know, just cool thing. So from Final Fantasy IV, there's this dude named Culex or something. There's a side quest in here which you can go through and unlock this room where he's hiding out. He's really hard to beat, but you can beat him. And I don't remember what you get, but it's mostly like bragging rights because I think he's harder than the last boss. So can I do a walkthrough of this? Yeah, absolutely. I don't remember everything. It's been so long since I've played it, so I'd probably have to go, make some mistakes and whatever, but excuse me. So I thought I would just kind of like live stream this a bit and see, if people liked it. And there's a few videos out there of people playing this game, but I felt so bad. I watched this guy do it, and so here I'm going to explain why I felt so bad. You level up, you get stats, right? But you got like this roulette, like, well, do I want some extra attack power, some extra health, or some extra skill points, right? Well, I made this mistake. There's 3 there. Well, apparently you can cancel out of these, and you find the one that gives you the most, and then you can be like, do I want more health or more skills? And clearly I don't want like +1 more attack, because you want to min-max this, right? So I might say, let's get some more magic attack, right? So this guy wasn't able to do that. He was also really bad with his timed hits, and was using, like, he would go and buy up a bunch of items and would go fight these hard monsters, like regular bosses in the game, and he just wasn't well equipped. I mean, no offense to the person. Like, everybody's, I don't know, I played less efficiently. I guess I'm looking for a diplomatic term. I played less efficiently when I was younger and knew less about the game, but it was a little stressful watching this person play, like using up all of their items and that sort of thing. So these little Goombas are like your level 1 monsters. They're really easy. They barely give anything in terms of experience points, but there's like cool stuff in here where you pop on this flower and it spins you around, and I want to get up to this platform and get this chest, right? So that that little flower gave me like a permanent boost to my flower power, which is what you use to activate your special skills. And hit point max. You just get these little pop-ups here and there that just keep you going, and so it's not such a ridiculously difficult RPG game, but it can be if you let it. So it's like a low stress, fun little Mario thing with some platforming action. So it's like, hey, let's rescue Toad here. Just like a little tough with the 3D. Gotta like line up just perfectly the shadows. Alright, so let's fight this guy. So one thing this guy did, I'll tell you another thing. So Toad just gave me a flower tab, right? And if I go to my inventory, it says this will raise my flower points by 1. Well, if you look there, I've used some of my flower power to do my jump skill earlier, right? So I'm at 7 of 11. Well, if I use a flower tab, it'll raise it up by 1, but it'll also restore all of my flower power. So I usually just sit on those until I'm, about to fight a boss or something. So I can use my skills up as I progress in the level, and then I can also just pop off flower tab or whatever, and recuperate. Another cool thing about this game is that there are hidden chests like scattered all over the place. So usually you find them by accident is how you realize that they even exist, and then you start looking for them. So basically you can just kind of jump around, and I think most of them contain like minor items or a special kind of currency called frog coins that you can use to buy some stuff later in the game. I forget, maybe flower tabs or whatever. So these little spiky dudes are pretty cool. They'll give me more experience. So I don't want to be too grindy, but it's usually helpful to get a level or two before you go run off and make progress. Like every stage that you go through has, some kind of like mini boss or something that you're gonna fight. So being underleveled will, it'll make it harder for you. And there's like status effects in this game, and gotta make sure I don't die. I'm doing fine. Status effects like poison and sleep, and I don't know what else. So I'm gonna run around and get these items in this stage and try to get one more level before I fight the little, I'll call it a mini boss. He's just some guy who's chilling out here kidnapping Toad or something like that. I don't remember. And the damage in this game is pretty much linear, if I can describe it that way. I don't know if that's the right word, but basically there's not a lot of RNG to the damage. If you noticed, like I punched this dude and did 14 damage to the turtle earlier. So let's see if I do 14 damage again. Yeah, like 14. Like the RNG is very tight, if there is any at all. So not complicated. You know what you're getting into. You level up and you can pretty much like, oh well, I can kill those in one hit now. So I don't actually want to fight all these dudes for fun. I might have to use some mushrooms. Get my health back. So you can use items out of battle, and you'll get so many mushrooms it don't matter. 12 experience to the next level. Looks like I didn't level up, so I might as well just, I'll have to deal with it. So they give you the easy out here where you can go fight some stuff, level up. So I'll take advantage of that. I'll fight a couple more of these and level up. So hi, Unstudy says, oh, you stream here? I've been wondering. Just started playing the game and your videos have been helping me a lot. Glad I'm here. Well, hey man, I'm glad that you're here too, and I'm glad the videos help. I probably shared this story already. There was no documentation for this game when I started playing, and I thought it was an awesome game, so I got tired of answering some of the same questions over and over again in Discord. Not that I mind answering them, but I was like, why don't I make a video to share with people? So I started down this path. Like, I need a creative hobby. I spent the past 2 years I spent a year and a half rock climbing indoors, and then I spent 7 months straight running. And I just kind of got wore out. And I was like, dude, I need a creative hobby. So here it is. And I haven't exercised a day since I started playing Raid the Dungeon. So at some point I've got to get off my bum and go out there and run a little bit and get, just to stay healthy. But anyway, I've got a couple more of these things to kill and I can level up just so I'll be nice and sturdy for these hammer bros. Another cool thing about this game is you play Mario and you're just running around, jumping over stuff, stomping Goombas and whatever, and you're not really thinking about like what it would be like. Well, in this game, it's it's three-dimensional. These dudes are on the ground. You've got skills and weapons, and there's some dimension here. It's pretty cool. So, like these little spike dudes. I've been like, oh, don't jump on him. His little spikes are gonna hurt my feet. Well, now this bro is gonna shoot spines at me and stuff. So, it's like another dimension of Mario. One more XP. So there are, in typical Mario fashion, there are invincibility stars that you can get in some areas, and when you get those, you just want to run through and kill everything. And jeez, he's killing me. I gotta make sure to finish him off. Well, that's bad. I got 1 health, so good thing I timed that hit. So apparently, jumping on the dude with the spikes on his back does no damage, so hey, good thing I saved that one. Just trying to get this one more level. It'd be a pain in the ass if I died on my first live stream of Mario and had to start over again. I'd be like, I can't do this. Alright, so finally, level 3. So I got my 5 health and some attack, so some defense, yada yada, you know the drill, right? So I learned a skill called Fire Orb. That's what's up. So 2 attack, or 3 health, or 1 magic attack. So I'm going to go with the 2 attack and 1 defense, so that'll help. And now let me see what I've got going on here. I've got 8 out of 11 flowers, so first let me get over here, make sure I don't get random attacked by some little dudes jumping out of the weeds, and I'll use my little flower tab. Alright, so I got 12. So now I'm gonna rescue Toad from this hammer bro. Well, 2 of them, hammer brothers. So as you can see here, the buttons map to the controller, and I've got jump skill or fire orb. So I'm gonna just do fire orb because it's cool. It's gonna use up. I can only do 2 of them though, so I have to choose wisely. And so this, I'm gonna spam the Y button. I'm actually using the PlayStation controller, so it's a square button, but gonna spam the Y button. Did 47 damage, so that's I guess it's good. And I'm just trying to time all these hits. So you see Mario ducking and covering his head. That's because I'm timing defense movement to reduce the damage. Helps a lot. So I got 1 more fire or 2 more jumps. So I'm gonna jump on this fella's head and did 54. So like these dudes are not even that. They're taking more damage from my jump than from my firepower, so I'm just gonna jump on this hammer bro. Probably didn't even need to do all that grinding, but hey, better safe than sorry. So I got a handful of XP, some coins, and a flower jar. So that flower jar is going to give me 3 flower power or something. So but basically this is the deal, like when you fight a boss, you kill it, you get a little bit of flower power and some XP, and those flower power are shared across your whole party, maybe, I think. I don't know, we'll find out. So anyway, we saved Toad, and what do you know? This hammer bro dropped his hammer. So what do you know? I think I'll use it. Peace out, Mario. Gotta get that hammer. So we'll equip that hammer. And that's gonna raise my attack by 10. So that's pretty good. And all done. So I'm gonna go back to Mario's pad and save it real quick, just because I don't want to do something stupid and die. Don't hurt. And off to Mushroom Kingdom. So Mushroom Kingdom, you've got an inn over here. I think that's an inn. And an item shop. So, like any game, I gotta go check out the item shop. And yeah, dude, I want to shop. So give me some armor. I want some weapons and armor. So they've got shirts and pants. So it shows you which character can equip it. So it looks like Mario can equip a shirt. So I'll pay 7 coins for that. And there are accessories to prevent poison and a jump shoe. So it says use jump attacks against any foe. So like you saw earlier where I jumped on that spiky guy and it did no damage, I guess there's some enemies that are immune. So I'm just going to grab the antidote pen because poison sucks. And I'll go ahead and buy some pants for the next character who will need pants. And we'll go ahead and equip these things. So the shirt's going to raise my magic defense and my defense, and then the antidote pen also gives me a small boost to my defense and my magic defense. So I usually just wear things like antidote pens and accessories that are going to prevent me from getting status effects I don't like. Alright, Octane, good seeing you here. I'll catch you later too. And then as I mentioned about hidden chests, I think there's one in here somewhere. There we go, right under this dude's head. So yeah, I think there's another chest on top of this chest if I can remember. If I can jump on it. It's kind of hard to get the angle right, but I think there's an item later in the game that will tell you when you walk into a room if there's a hidden chest. Okay, so it's not on top of this chest, but somewhere. So basically, Toad said, come on, Mushroom Kingdom. I rescued him from the Hammer Bros, and we need to go talk to the Chancellor. So, it's pretty normal. Gotta go talk to the King, the Chancellor, whatever. Gotta tell him, hey man, this big sword came and smashed up Bowser's castle. could just lean back here too. That's a little better. So this confused me a lot the first time I played it, because I was a kid, and I was like, what's going on here? And Mario's just pretending to be other people. So that's the plot here, is we went to go save Princess Peach from Bowser, and then the whole castle got taken, and we don't know where Bowser is or Princess Peach. So clearly we have to save the princess. So, like any old RPG game, the king says, you know, hey, you've got to go kill the bad guy, take this gold, or whatever. So we get to go raid the treasure dungeon here, or whatever. I don't remember what these are. Probably some gold. And, oh, this is just like a walkthrough to explain what these are. Which is kind of neat, I guess. Like, hey, in case you didn't know. And some gold coins. I don't know if there's any hidden chests in here either, but... where am I going in? So this little guy starts crying, and it rains outside. I had no idea, I didn't really make the connection back when I was a kid. It's like, oh, he's a marshmallow guy. That's perfect sense. But you kind of find out later in the game what his deal is. Basically, this little croc stole his grandpa's coin, and you're gonna meet up with him, and he's like, hey man, can you help me get it back? Hey Barcode, how's it going? Is that your actual, like, name you want to go by? So of course, like a good Mario, I've got to help, you know, this kid get his coin back for his grandpa, and you know, otherwise how would this plot progress? So I got Mallow, this little dude. I'm gonna equip his pants and his... I don't even have a weapon for him. He's not much of a fighter anyway. But he's got some skills. I think he does. Thunderbolt. And I think he learns a healing spell. Healing Rain. Okay, so who am I on Discord? That's easy. to remember, I think. I hope. I swear I'm too young to be senile. I just, it's hard to keep track of all the names and faces sometimes. So Krako's a pretty tough guy. I probably died to him when I was first time I played this game because I didn't realize how tough it would be. And again, I probably wasn't timing my hits or something like that. Yeah, man, I love Fafnir's Pledge too. I still, like, the only downside is I'm a bit squishy with it, so it's not as good as my, I think it's Zynga, the God of War Shield. Oh, man. So Krako's gonna play a little hide and seek game with us here, giving us the run around. You can see I've got some this frog Gog, this big nasty looking frog dude. Got my hammer, and little Mallow is gonna, little wimpy guy. But luckily I can time those hits and defend pretty well. Yeah, so who am I? I had gotten to the lowest rung of, no, I had, 1 week I was in Silver 1, and then the next week I got to Platinum 1, and that's when I got my Fafnir's Pledge and my Absolute and Transcender. And I went straight from Platinum 5 to Grandmaster 3, I think, is where I was. And then this week I only climbed up to, well, I mean, I say only, but I climbed up to Grandmaster 1 or 2. And yeah, well, you say companions, and doing a companion pool, but I just actually got rid of mine. If you paid attention earlier, I tried, man. I did more companion pools this weekend than I did in all weeks prior and got no rares. And I really think that you need more rares to get the one-eyed mask and get the, you know, the companion bonus, the 25% to all stats, you know, attack, defense, and health, because, you know, that's going to help you a ton in PvP if you run a full team. And since I'm not getting them, then, I mean, that's just making it a little tough. So anyway, I got the Void Power to raise my stats when I don't have any companions. And it's helping me a little bit, but just, I don't know, man. I don't know what to do. So, like, I'm kind of a pragmatic person. Like, I'm not going to be number one, and I don't have to be number one, so, like, I guess being 20-something in PvP and, like, doing pretty decent on the ranked boards, like, I'm good with that, man. So, I just don't have the time and energy to, like, it's diminishing returns, basically. Alright, so I'm going to do the Thunderbolt skill from Mallow here. And it'll hit, I guess it'll hit all enemies. And it's pretty strong. So who am I asked, well, what's the one-eyed mask? And that was, it's the relic that gives plus 25 attack, defense, and health to your companions. And you get that for each unique rare companion that you get. So I've actually gotten 2 rare companions. It's just that they were the same one, so I didn't get a second drop of it. And the sewing machine, I think you get sewing machines from completing skins. So I've got most of the low quality skins, but I haven't been using my glory coins to pull rares or anything like that. I use them on rift marks, so I'm probably not going to get lots of sewing machine relics and skins. Alright, so Croco here is doing the old hide and seek, game with me, being a right pain in the ass. And these little Goombas are going to come out, and I guess I could run him down, but the problem here is I'm going to be underpowered. So first off, I'm going to try to get some of these treasures and level up Mallow at the very least. Alright, maybe I should have saved that for later. So that will recover all my health and my flowers and all that crap. So Croco's up at the top, and I think that's where I came in, is down here, so... So any new items other than the hammer? No. So I saved Toad, and I beat the Hammer Brothers, saved Toad, got their hammer, so that you'll see me using that there. And I went to Mushroom Kingdom and got a shirt for Mario and some pants for Mallow, who joins my party and wants my help to get his grandpa's coin back from the mean old crocodile here. So you can see these monsters are coming after me. He's playing hide and seek. So a little platformy action here, which is really cool. I mean, this is on a Super Nintendo, and it's basically 3-dimensional isometric, which is really neat. And I think this is a star, so... Yeah, so I want to do all... Yeah, boys, come on. There we go. Get some XP. And he learns hit point rain, HP rain, whatever. So usually there's a trade-off, so I could get more health, 4 health or 3 attack. And Mallow is such a weenie that I am definitely going to take the attack. I mean, he's more of like a healer type, but being able to kill enemies is pretty important. So I struggled with this stuff when I was younger, a young lad, but then I realized, hey man, I can just use the shadows, and that helps a ton. So pretty easy. And Mario needs one more XP to level up, so. And he's gonna run off somewhere, and you play the old hide and seek game. So it's kind of not too bad. You gotta catch him like 3 times. I'm interested to see what we get from these abyssal rifts or whatever. You know, are we just gonna get these special items, some tokens to buy some, I don't know, abyssal equipment, or are we gonna get gold and are we gonna get like eternal and infernal chest drops and things like that? I don't know, but it would be nice if we can get them all. It's getting a little late for me because I didn't sleep much last night. Stayed up too late farming rifts. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the 4 health here this time. So yeah, what I would like is alright, you gotta sneak up behind him. That was easy. It's probably the easiest I've ever had with him. So yeah, man, I don't know how much patience I've got. Why aren't I playing Raid? That's a great question. I'm actually gonna, thanks for the reminder. I'm gonna pop over here real quick. I was doing, so look, my little 96%, that was a good number. So just running the rifts here, filling up. Trying to level up my Winter Shard to Mythic. And I'm very close. But I gotta say, I don't know how much more patience I have to, you know, farm all week and then just AFK rift and then do token pulls and things like that. So hopefully this next patch will be exciting. It might also just be since I haven't been getting enough sleep. And off we go again. So 22 seems to be about what I can fit in my deposit box without overgoing, or, you know, overflowing it. And I've been probably about every other run I'll get 1 eternal drop. Although I had something weird happen earlier where I think I had like 4 of them. So I don't know if it was 4 that I got over a single run and it just, you know, was great RNG, or if I accidentally left them in my box and didn't feed them. So not really sure. So anyway, yeah, rift number 6, that's a big one. I could have swore rift number 6 is where you get your first infernals, but I may be wrong about that. You know, advanced chest drop is going to make a difference, but anyways, back to Mario here. So that didn't do a ton of damage. And Mallow missed. So Croco here is pretty tough, if I remembered, so I'm gonna have to take it easy. Yeah, Mellow's gonna get beat down. So I might just have to do this the old-fashioned way and just swing and defend with Mallow. What sets are worth focusing on? I mean, once you get your Transcender or a Yag or something that gives you the +2, seems like a must-have is to have God of War plus Uranus, Razatory's Prey or Razatory's Prey, whatever. The belt that will do damage when enemies are shocked, or it either shocks them and then damage is shocked. I don't know exactly how it works, but that's a must-have. So yeah, homie here is pretty strong, and I didn't feel like grinding, so we're just gonna defend. And I got mushrooms, man. Pretty bad with my timed hits with some of this stuff, so kind of sleepy here, kind of screwing up a bit. So anyway, at any rate, what I can do is I'm going to use up this and use some honey syrup to get my flower power back. I mean, this stuff doesn't cost very much money, so it's not a big deal. I'm just not good with timing these right now. That's better. So the Uranus set bonus is... well, the important thing is it gives you a 5% chance on attack, I think it's 5% chance on attack, to reduce the skill cooldowns of one of your skills by 5 seconds. So, that's should be pretty clear why that's helpful. I don't remember what the other bonuses are, but I mean, you basically you wear one item and you get a +3 set bonus, so you might as well wear one of each set, right? I mean, if you get good drops, you might be able to consider doing a Destiny, and I could do that, but I've already gone Mythic on my helmet, so I don't know. I don't know if the extra damage is worth it from the whatever the Destiny is. I think it shoots a laser or something. Anyway, homeboy's tail is on fire, so... and we'll try to burn him one more time. Yeah, man, 4th piece of God of War for 200% boss damage will be nice for tier dungeon and rifts. You know, I thought I had... I might have to check my... I'm using the Zynga axe and the Zynga shield, so I should have a +4 on that. So maybe I've already got that, in which case, man, 200% boss damage isn't quite enough. I know the 4 set on the Uranus set is... I think it's 80% attack speed or something, and I think skill damage or something. So anyway, I got a wallet, and this big bouncy thing popped up out here. So no enemies left, so this is just going to launch me back. Nice little shortcut. Get a little save action in here. Probably going to call it a day here in a moment because I'm getting tired, as is everybody else. And yeah, I should go to bed. It's Monday. We got the day off of work tomorrow, which is nice. One of our kids' daycares is closed, so the other one isn't. So I still got to get up and take the older one to school and care for the younger one during the day. So yeah, coming back into Mushroom Kingdom, and it's like, whoa, what's going on here, buddy? All these little shysters, whatever, jumping around on pogo sticks. Poor little Mallow. The little puny arms. He doesn't have a weapon, so that's half the reason why he's not doing anything worthwhile. So if I recall, this is a good place to farm. You can just go in and out of the hotel, just fight these dudes, and sleep up. So just get old Mallow to do his Thunderbolt. Probably not going to do all that. I'm going to, first off, yeah. Kill these dudes. Probably going to find a save point and then check in on, raid the dungeon here and see what's going on. Got 15 attempts. I've only done 7 completions-ish on that rift since I kicked it off. Got some honey syrup. And N has the save spot, so I'm gonna save it here. I'll probably end up doing some grinding on my own time and maybe kick off a stream again or just record the playthrough. I don't know. We'll see if there's some feedback on this. You know, depends on what folks want to see. So let us switch back to the raid the dungeon here. There we go. So still going here. So that's what I'll be doing for the next little bit until I complete my ring. Need to get that thing up to Mythic. And then after that, I don't know what I'm going to do. Given that I don't think the patch is going to come out tomorrow, I might just AFK farm the rest of the night for tokens and just see what I can get. Because having a Yag would be nice, and having a couple of nice items on standby. I could do some better rolls, but I just know it's more efficient to feed Infernals directly into my items if I want to take them to Mythic. So at any rate, so I think that's going to be it for the night. Can I touch on the importance of skills? Good. I love it when people ask a question. So in the beginning of the game, when you're just making progress, it doesn't matter what skill you use, I don't think. Some of our members are working on a spreadsheet that describes, what they do. Some of them have different status effects. What's hidden to the player is not all of them do the same amount of damage. So there's going to be a damage modifier to each of these skills. And I think you can assume that the longer it takes for a skill to cool down, the more damage it will do. So let's take a look. For example, the terrestrial predator has a long cooldown. It's 32 seconds, which is cooled down significantly. It's closer to a minute when you don't have skill cooldown. This does a lot of damage. Excuse me, but what you basically want to know when looking at any skill is at the debuff line here, and you can hover over this or click on it. It'll tell you what it does. So electrocute, for example, says that enemies make them receive extra damage. So that's always good to know. So the debuffs are extremely important late game when you have certain types of equipment that give you bonuses to, say, burn damage or poison damage, or an item like the Rasatory Prey, which I will show you right here. It says it instantly shocks an enemy with lightning. So what I don't know is whether... Oh, it strikes a shocked enemy, right? So you want to use a skill that will shock the enemy and or increase the chance to shock them. So I'll look at my PvP set, for example. Has a plus 20% shock rate, right? So I'm going to use my lightning skills with that, and the belt or the ring if you have it. And yeah, so that's the significance of skills. There are other builds with other equipment, so like ice, fire, poison, for example. I don't have all those equipment to really show you through it, but that's the most important thing to know is what gear you have, what skills it synergizes with, and which skills to use. Additionally, once you get to the tier dungeon, I'll show you real quick. As you climb up higher, these will fill in. So it says, for example, attackers have a chance of being burned, and you'll deal 50% additional damage against burning enemies. This also says enemies are resistant to shock, but they'll take 100% more damage when affected by poison. So this is where it gets important at reading through, how these bosses are impacted by stat effects as you increase the stage. As you can see, I go to stage 8 and I get another one. It says it reduces all damage taken by 80%, but increases burn damage by 1,000%. So clearly, when you fight this guy, you use fire. Unfortunately, that doesn't work out that well for me because I don't have the thawed set. I'm not really using any of it. So like this one, for example, if you have a 4 set, you're going to set them on fire and do more damage more often. I guess I could... I can't really swap it out because my main source of defense is this helmet. And if it were my armor, I could just swap the helmet situationally. But until I get this armor or something better to serve as my primary source of defense, I can't really swap these in and out. Now, if you do have your bases covered with attack, defense, and health, if you, say, want to swap your boots out because the boss needs poison damage and you have the boots that give you poison, do that. So, holy sets don't have any of those added effects. No, they don't. They're pretty straightforward, the holy stuff, just crit damage and things like that, regular stats. Excuse me. So another thing to consider is it's probably good to be knowledgeable of the skills for melee, ranged, and magic. I am not, but that'll help you in PvP as well because you'll see what characters tend to use I mean, it is kind of a rock, paper, scissors because there isn't like a one thing beats all, unless your equipment is just crazy good. But for the most part, you can mix and match, and you can make up for it. So, like I said, probably an hour ago, I mean, I haven't spent hundreds of dollars on this game like some people, so I may never catch the top people, but I can get top 20 or something. So anyway, looks like I got a Uranus headband with bad stats that dropped during that last farm run, so that's not too bad. I will go ahead and feed that back to my ring. I'm getting so close. It needs one more run, about 10 to 12 more runs of the level 29 Rift, and I will have enough to get that thing to Mythic. So that's what I will be doing for the next half hour or so, and then I will make a decision whether I want to. I'm going to save my PvP tokens until I do that, and then I'll have to make up my mind how much do I want to level up that ring, and do I want to spend the rest of my Rift Marks tonight or save them up. So anyway, unless someone pops up a question now, I'm going to go ahead and call it. So thanks for those who stopped by and participated. I know it's an old game, but hopefully some of you find the Mario RPG interesting. If you do, send me a comment. I know one of you wanted to see a walkthrough at some point. I think I'd be happy to do that and work on my commentary skills and get a little better at it. But it's definitely a fun game. So anyways, I will catch you all later. Probably not next Sunday. Actually, I'll be going out of town next Sunday. So I'm going to be farming during the week and playing remotely the week after next. So I'll probably be off the radar for a bit for business. So thank you all. I'll catch you later. Happy hunting and good luck with the RNG. Alrighty.